Today we're going to look at drawing one of the pigeons from Beau's drawing, Be a Snake. So the really important thing to remember with birds, well, first of all, it's make sure you get a nice beak in there. But birds have something called a keel bone, and it's a big bone at the front of their chest that holds all the musculature for their wings. And so I want to make sure that I give them a nice round chest right up there. And I'm going to give him the definition of his beak and an eye. And then let's just do one really simple half of a U for his wing. And then some simple little feet. You can go as advanced or as simple as you want to make this drawing. And then pigeons, we know, have a different color head than they do a body. So I'm just going to do just like that to draw the difference between his head and his body. And now, if I wanted to, maybe there's a little shadow underneath him, right? If he's standing on the ground, then there's a little bit of shadow. If you want to now, you could add some color, you could redo it in ink, or you could, maybe let's put a squiggly worm in his mouth. Do pigeons eat worms? I guess pigeons kind of eat anything. And there you go. There's a simple little pigeon. In Gavin's drawing, he wanted to see a forest, and so that meant that I was drawing some branches of trees. So we're going to look today at how do you make it look like the bottom of a branch is rounding down, right? When we look at branches, they look like they're curving. So I'm going to make a really simple branch, right? There's a branch, sort of a squiggly line. I'm going to let it go all the way off the paper. And let's say the tree comes down this way, right? So when we know that, this part of the branch is further away from the sun if the sun is right above it. So we're just going to give it some little marks that make it look like it's a little bit darker than the rest of it. We call these hash marks. And then maybe, just for fun to make them darker, we'll do some that go the other way too. I did it in the drawing, I did that with doing darker marker color than the tops of the branches. But because I'm just working with pencil, I did it with some pencil strokes. And then maybe for fun, we'll put a little monkey on top. It doesn't look like a monkey, that kind of looks like a bear. All right, we'll put a bear on top. There you go. There's a bear on a tree. In Frida's drawing, some of the gnomes have buckets full of snowballs. So today we're going to draw a bucket full of snowballs. So first I'm going to start with my bucket. And for that, I'm going to draw an oval, but I'm going to leave some space. And this is where my snowballs are going to go. Then I'm going to draw a diagonal line at kind of down, and another diagonal line down, and then a slightly curvy line at the bottom, and that's the bottom of our bucket. And now we're going to put in, there's our handle of our bucket. We'll go one line, and then we'll follow that line on the inside. And now I'm going to draw my snowballs, and they're just circles, but they're circles that stop at the pale line. We'll draw some more circles. We'll put a lot of snowballs in here. I just keep making U's, upside down U's, right? And that looks like the tops of the snowballs. We'll do another one and another. And there you go. And now you could color in your snowballs. You could color in your pail. Maybe you could give them some shadow on the sides. This would be if the light is coming from this way, then they would be darker on this side. So we've got some snowballs And that's it. There you go. A bucket full of snowballs.